Welcome back, guys, to another episode. Uh, Still got the hat on, and of course the sweater. It is a different day though. Same setup behind and everything. It's just a little bit easier where my desk is located right now, and it's a little bit easier on the lighting. But today, what we're going to go over is actually something really cool and something that I really do like. So, stay into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so what we're taking a look at here today is the fireluke from Freemax. I love this tank. This is one of my all-time favorite tanks, and I've never ran it with the sub-ohm coil because, yeah, boys and girls, we actually got the RBA section in there. So we're going to go ahead and break this down a little bit for you and show you a little bit more about this Freemax fireluke. And I do know that this is rated, I believe, to be a 25 millimeter RDA or sub-ohm tank, but up here at the glass it bubbles out about almost 3 millimeters. So I've been seeing a lot of people saying that this bubble glass actually makes it about 28 mils. So you want to be careful with that. If you drop your tank or something, this glass is going to be the very first thing to hit on this tank. So you need to be very careful with that. But it is a pretty decently thick glass. Doesn't mean that's indestructible. It will end up breaking if you're not careful with it. But anyways, let's go ahead and break this down, and I can't wait to show you guys. Alright guys, so here is the fireluke. Go ahead and get a closer look at that. Sorry for the brightness. But yeah, there's the drip tip. And you pop this drip tip off. And you can also put your 510 drip tip in there. So let me go ahead and grab my preferred 510 drip tip. So here's the tip from the TFV4. So this is my favorite one. And we can just click it right in there. Now you do see the O-rings, but you can take the O-rings off and save them with your tip if that's what you prefer, and it looks a lot better. And I'll show you guys that at the end of the video when I do exactly that. But let's go ahead and twist the top off here. And there's your two kidney size or kidney slots on both sides. So you got good airflow. Now, I will say when you fill this tank up, when you're all done, you got the juice that you want in it, right before you tighten this down, you want to flip this upside down and then tighten it quickly before it starts leaking. The reason for that is if you don't, the air pressure that comes into the tank will shoot or force juice right outside of your airflow slots, and it will leak the entire tank out. Believe me, I know it happened to me quite a few times, and I've lost about 10 to almost 15 mils in total of doing that before I finally figured out what was going on. I thought my bottom seal was shot, which my bottom seal is going bad, and I'll show you guys that. So it does leak a little bit, but not very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that off. Let's go ahead and pull the tank apart. Now this is very loose than how I originally would have it. I just threw the tank back together for the video. And you can tell my seal is actually pretty old from sitting with juice in it. And there is our bubble shaped glass. And then we have our RTA section or RBA section, whatever you want to call it. Now you can twist this out if you do not like the RBAs, and you can get, I believe it's the fireluke, I believe is the coil for this. And you see that big old gold-plated connection pin down there? It is a massive connection pin. And then you see the air slots on the connection pin for the RBA section. Now let's go ahead and pull this open. Show you guys the build in here, even though it's not anything special. It's just wrapped 26 gauge Canthal, and we got our wick in there. And I do want to say, you want to make sure that you don't completely block this. When I got this, it had wick shoved in the juice slot here for the juice galley. You don't want to do that, because then it can't reach the wick and it can't saturate the coils properly. But you want to make sure your coils are nice and fluffy and tucked down. And I'll go ahead and pull one side up and show you the length. Alright, so I pulled up one side so you can see the length that you're going about need. And what I like to do, go ahead and twist this section back onto the base. I'll go ahead and show you guys how I like to measure my wick. Make sure it's on there. Doesn't need to be too tight. But as you can tell, there's your little galley right down there. Oh, maybe see the hole right under the wick. You're just going to tuck your wick in there. But how I like to cut it is I'll bring it down and it basically touches the bottom of the base. And that's how you know that's going to be about the perfect area for the wicking. Let's go ahead and fluff her back up, and we'll just tuck her back in there. And like I said, you just tuck it in that wick slot, and there's a wick slot on all four sides. You don't want to cram it in there, so you want to make sure she's going nice and freely. I like to fluff it back out a little bit, and just go nice and slow. You're not in a race, you're not in a hurry. And I noticed with this fireluke tank, at least mine anyways, you want to be a little bit more careful, especially with the threads on the RBA section. The threads are very thin, and it's very easy to cross thread. So I like to make sure it's all puffed up, not too tight in there, but enough to where it's gonna clear. Alright, so that's about perfect. That's how I like to have it. Now let's go ahead and give it a proper lube up. Alright guys, so here back in face cam, we got our fireluke base sitting on our Cylon mod. I don't know, I'm just going to call it a Cylon. I haven't done a review about this mod yet. And the juice that we're going to prime this with is going to be that really good watermelon candy from Pop Clouds. I am in love with this juice. It tastes so good, in my opinion. Let's just go ahead and put these up here. Let's get it all nice and wicked. I notice this cotton is not really that absorbent. It's one thing I'm not really liking about it, in my personal opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and finish saturating this up, and we'll bring you right back and try to vape on this thing. Alright, so as you can tell, we got it all nice and properly saturated. I did drop a couple of drops in through the juice ports on both sides to get a little bit of the wick down there. Now it's time to go ahead and reassemble this thing. So what I like to do, well, first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to, I believe this is either the top cap or the chimney cap. I'm not fully sure what this is called just yet, but it's the top cap to the RBA section. So just set it over, and our wicks were nice and perfect. Didn't have any issues with it. Go ahead and tighten it up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and throw our tank on. This is exactly how I had it when it came off, but I like to put it on and kind of give it a little bit of a twist, and you'll feel it seat down in there. You want it kind of a nice snug on the bottom, because that's where you'll end up having most of your leaking. Now I am going to show you another reason why I have leaking I don't really know if you can see it, but you can see a little tear right there. So a little bit of juice is escaping from there. So let's go ahead and put our top cap on. Now what I like to do is take our top part, and then I'll let the cap pop up a little bit and then pull it up. I mean, I guess when you know the way that it goes on the bottom, you could just pull it up. The best way is to put the top cap onto the tank and then slip it all over. You want to be nice and smooth with it, and you'll feel it grip. Once it grips, you're good to go. Just go ahead and just twist it down. Now the one thing that I have noticed with the actual tank section, you want to have this tight. There's actually a tool that you pinch and tighten it a little bit. I just use my hands, just tighten it that little bit more to kind of prevent some more of the leaking that's going to end up happening from the tank. So just go ahead and tighten it a little bit more, and I think that's about perfect right there. So I got a good about a quarter to almost a half a turn out of that. Now we can go ahead and fill this bad boy up. Before I actually put it on the sideline, and same juice, just different bottle, we're going to go ahead and fill this bad boy up, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. Okay, so I have the air slots wide open on both sides. You can see there. So now let's just go ahead and fill her up. Do 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 do. There we go. Alright, so got the old girl nice and juiced up. Now, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, start tightening it down. Before you get all the way tight, tip it upside down and then tighten it. Now you're not going to have any leaking that's going to come out of these air ports. If your seal's a little worn out, or if you didn't have it tight enough, you may get leaking on the outside of the tank, but you need to make sure it's leaking and not condensation. Sorry about that, guys. So like I said, we're pushing 6.69 volts to get to 70 watts. Let's go ahead and take a couple of rips off this. That watermelon tastes just as good. Not as good as coming out of that drop dead. That drop dead gives it just that little extra flavor. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 75 watts. Kind of overshot a little bit. Alright, pushing 75 now. I think 65-70 was where it was at. It's really hard with these batteries trying to find the good spot for it. So we're actually going to drop it down to 65. So, got a little cough there. Oh, still trying to stay off the Mickey steak, so everything's a little tied up in the chest a little bit. But we are doing pretty good. I did smoke a little bit more today just because I had to re-wick everything with the sweeter juice. It's gumming up the cotton really well. I'll go ahead and see if I can find some more cotton to show you. Alright, so I don't have it. Anyways, so that's the Freemax fireluke tank with the RTA section. I can't give a review about the actual coils because I'm only running the RTA. Honestly, I think that's where it primes at. And I've watched a lot of videos, though it has a high pitch like fan shroud sound almost with a normal coil in it. You don't get that as much, and I have it about 3/4 of the way closed and maybe a smidge open on the tip. Oh, love this tank. It's one of my favorites. I've been waiting to vape off of this for about 3 days, just trying to make this video for you guys, and finally did it. I had to get some more wick, but that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe. That way you guys can stay tuned with some of our newest videos. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you can be notified when we get a new video up on the channel. And if you guys want to follow us over on social media, we have a Twitter page. The same thing, Vaping in Purgatory. So that's it. I'm going to send you guys off with the fat cloud. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.